There once was a boy who was sad. He never quite felt like he belonged where he lived. He would play alone on a swing during recess at school. As he swung, he would look at the clouds and mountains far to the north and imagine that there was a land just beyond. It would be a place where he would never feel bad. He would always be safe and loved. But most of all, he would feel like he belonged there. One day at school, the bell rang to return to class, but the boy kept on swinging. He laid his body back and stared at the clouds. He daydreamed about the paradise land as he often did. This time was different, though. This time he realized that his swing was actually a ship. It was a flying vessel that could take him away. Suddenly, as he swung forward, his ship broke free of its chains and sailed up into the sky. With rockets blazing, the boy soared away, and no one in this place ever heard from him again. The boy came to the land he had imagined, only it was even better than in his dreams. The village was made up of charming little cottages high in the mountains. Some variety of trees grew everywhere and made the whole place smell almost like it was made of candy. On the edge of town was a tall cliff, and it gave a magnificent view of the land for hundreds of miles around. The people there were friendly, but they had trouble. The beloved ruler of the village had gotten old and died. The village was without a leader, and everyone was afraid, because if their enemies found out they had no leader, they would be in danger of attack. The village elders formed a plan to choose a new ruler. Outside the village in a snowy cave was a large and hungry Yeti. Whoever could capture or kill the Yeti could be the new ruler. Everyone agreed that this was a good plan, but the elders were afraid that no one in the village would dare to face the Yeti. The boy asked if he could try, but the village elders would not let him. The Yeti is very large and hungry. He would eat a small boy like you in one bite. Still, the boy begged and pleaded to be given the chance. Finally, the elders could tolerate his pestering no longer, and told him he could try. As he left the village for the cave, many of the people were sad, because they were sure the boy would be eaten. "When you are in the Yeti's stomach, remember that we warned you, and don't blame us," the elders said. The boy spent a day and a night making his preparations, and then carrying a huge backpack, he left the village gates to hike high into the mountain pass where it was said the monster lived. He was afraid, but felt optimistic and enjoyed the mountain scenery as he went, for he had never seen anything so beautiful in his old life, and had come to appreciate everything he witnessed. The boy smelled something awful and followed the stink to the cave of the Yeti. He soon found himself face to face with the hairy white beast. Its eyes were tiny black slits, and its mouth looked as if it could swallow a horse in one bite. The great Yeti approached him to attack, but the boy did not back away. Instead, he quickly opened his backpack and tossed a large pan of lasagna to the monster. The Yeti swallowed it in one bite and approached again. Again, the boy did not back away. But this time he threw the Yeti a bowl filled with 27 pounds of mashed potatoes in salty brown gravy. The Yeti ate it, and a third time came to him, and a third time the boy did not back away. This time he fed the beast gallon after gallon of porridge stirred with honey and sprinkled with slivered almonds. He continued to feed the beast until it could eat no more, and it lay down on its side and snored contentedly. The boy then scratched the Yeti on its back like it was a great furry dog. Soon they were friends. When the people of the village saw the boy coming with the monster behind him, they were very afraid that the creature would eat them all. Some of the people screamed and ran into their houses. Soon, though, they realized that the boy had tamed it, and they were in no danger. "Am I allowed to be the village leader?" the boy asked, and the elders all had to agree that he had passed the test. He was crowned ruler that very day. The boy governed the village wisely for many years until he became a man, and then grew to be old. His judgments were always fair and true. He was so thoughtful that many other villages joined with them of their own free will, so that the boy who had grown into a man could rule them too. He never took money or goods that he hadn't earned, even though he had only to ask, and anything he wanted would have been happily given to him. He told the people that he did not want to be a bad example to them, and so he grew food and raised animals to support himself until he was very old. The people loved him and were so happy to have a leader willing to teach them by his own example. One day when the boy who became a man was very old and tired, he called for all the people from his village, which was more of a kingdom now than a village. He told them that his body was used up and that soon he would be with them no longer. All of the people were very sad, and many of them cried openly at the loss of their beloved ruler. He told them not to cry, for he had an infant son who would rule wisely in his place. Many of the people were encouraged when they heard this, and it helped to ease their sadness when their beloved leader finally died. Soon, however, there were whispers among some of the men in the village. They were angry with the child and thought that they should be leaders instead of him. There was even talk that these men might try to kill the baby boy. And so the village elders sadly made the decision to send the infant away where he would be safe. That very night, the most trusted scout in the village was sent to take the baby boy to a land far to the south and never to return. And so the scout took the boy far away into the land south of the village. He arranged for the boy to be raised by people from the strange new land, and he watched from a distance as the baby grew into a boy. As the boy got older, he never quite felt like he belonged where he lived. He would play alone on a swing during recess at school. As he swung, he would look at the clouds and mountains far to the north and imagine that there was a land just beyond. It would be a place where he would never feel bad. He would always be safe and loved. But most of all, he would feel like he belonged there. One day at school, the bell rang to return to class. The boy kept on swinging. He laid his body back and stared at the clouds. He daydreamed about the paradise land as he often did. This time was different though. This time he realized that his swing was actually a ship. It was a flying vessel that could take him away. Suddenly, as he swung forward, his ship broke free of its chains and sailed up into the sky. With rockets blazing, the boy soared away, and no one in this place ever heard from him again.